SBRForum videos. I'm Peter Loshak. We are previewing UFC 170, and right now we are talking with returning guest, as always, Nick Kalikas from MMA oddsmaker.com, and also from MMA oddsmaker.com, Brad Taschuk, who already covered a couple of these fights with us earlier last week. Let's start right in, McMann and Rousey. Let's start with you, Brad Taschuk. Now, we discussed this fight last week, and you gave the opinion that, even though you think that McMann, wrestling usually trumps judo, that McMann might surprise here, minus 400, it's now down to minus 390. You'd still probably take Rousey there, but then we concluded that we both kind of like the over. It was 1.5 at minus 170 when we discussed it. Now it's obviously been hit down. It's all the way down to a minus 150 at 5 dimes. So what's your take on this fight? Has anything changed since the last time we talked?
Nothing's really changed. I see the same thing playing out. McMann should be able to survive a little bit because of that wrestling. I think the fight might actually spend the entire first round on the feet, but eventually I think those instincts are going to take over. She's not seasoned enough as a fighter to spend a whole fight on her feet, and it's going to hit the ground, and Rousey's the far better grappler. So minus 390, I think that's a nice price that you're getting on Rousey. Obviously, even though I haven't seen a commercial for it yet, the UFC is doing a pretty good job of selling Sara McMann as a challenger. Yeah,
and you still like the over 1.5, even though the line's moved against us?
Yeah, absolutely. I like it even more now.
All right. Well, let's go to Nick Kalikas. Nick, someone has obviously been betting Sara McMann, even if it hasn't been like huge money. The line has moved a little bit in her favor, right?
Yeah, I opened minus 705 for Rousey. A lot of people were surprised it was that big because McMann has always had that respect. A lot of people firmly believe that once there's going to be an upset, if there is an upset against Rousey, it's going to be McMann. So for a long time, there's been buzz about this fight. You know what? I just don't see it, though. Honestly, I think Rousey is just a level above most right now. And the problem with the girls, they can't get the fight to the ground against her. I mean, McMann should have that kind of success, but she doesn't kind of want to go that route against Rousey. If she sticks Rousey on her back, she's going to get subbed pretty quick. Right. I mean, you can only survive with Ronda Rousey for so long. I mean, credit Miesha Tate last time. She, made her push her to the limit a little bit. But I really took a lot out of that fight as well. There was a lot of question marks about Rousey, about her getting tagged. Can she take punches? And we also got to see a little bit of improvement with her stand-up, with her striking offensively. So McMahon's not exactly a world beater on the feet. So I think it's going to be competitive even on the feet.
All right, so then what's driven this line down so much? I mean, has it been like the public, buying into some sort of, hype that they think that this is when Rousey goes down, or was it sharp action that came in thinking that the line was way off?
Probably a little bit of everything, honestly. I mean, the support early on, McMann is, of course, an Olympic credential wrestler. I mean, she's at the top of the world in that sport for sure. She's been for a while. So, I mean, not actually at this point. Obviously, she's in MMA, but I'm saying as far as list of credentials go. And, of course, Ronda Rousey has a judo Olympic background. So you have two elite athletes competing. And I think, like I said, a long time, the buzz has been that McMann could possibly pull off the upset over Rousey. A lot of people believe she can keep the fight standing. If so, she's going to probably outstrike Rousey. So I think that's why you're seeing the early support on the dog. I just think that Rousey's still going to be a step ahead, and eventually this fight will hit the floor.
All right. Well, what about, the over? I mean, I think in the last Rousey fight that we discussed, I think I was the one who gave the opinion that I liked the over in that one, and that one cashed. And I think I'm seeing the same thing here. People are figuring out Rousey a little bit, maybe not necessarily enough to win, but enough to, challenge her a little bit more. Over 1.5, minus 150. So there must have been money coming in on the under, right?
Yeah, they're getting a little bit of action, of course, on the under. And you know what? You can't really blame the public there either because, only one time in her career, Rousey's been out of round one. Now, of course, she's facing great competition in McMann, so I would expect it probably to hit round 2, maybe halfway through, like you guys are saying there, possibly round 3 because of the wrestling aspect of the game, with McMann being able to keep it on the feet. But it's always dangerous because as soon as it does hit the floor, Rousey's that good. She can end it quickly. So that's why I think a lot of people are coming in that way as well. So early action, like you guys said, are on the under, and they're taking the dog right now.
All right, interesting situation. Brad Taschuk, if I had to pin you down, which side do you think has more value, the over at minus 150 or Rousey at minus 390 currently?
I would take Rousey at 390 just because, as Nick said, if it does hit the ground early, Rousey's got a much better ground game than Sara McMann. Sara McMann, she could end it very early, so...
All right, it seems like your analysis is definitive, guy. You think that Rousey is basically going to be able to handle McMann as well as she's handled all of her opponents to date. We'll see how it turns out. Thanks, guys.